The latest flagships from Apple and Google have now been updated and are ready to take on one of the best smartphones of the year, the S24 Ultra. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is the only device here running a 3nm chipset, that being the A18 Pro, which has two main cores and a max clock speed of 4.04 GHz. The Pixel 9 Pro XL is rocking the 4nm run Tensor G4 chip, which has a single main core and a max clock speed of 3.1 GHz, which is the lowest of the bunch. And the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is powered by the 4nm run Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 CPU, which has one main core and has an overclocked speed of 3.4 GHz. Which one of these flagships has what it takes to dominate this speed test? This is TechNick, and without further ado, let's find out. We're going to get things going by opening up each device's system clock app and hitting start on the stopwatch here. We won't be including that in the test though. We're going to be starting with calculator over here, and calculator, camera and photos are all the native apps running on each of these devices. Now to the left of each device is the list of apps that we'll be running through today, and each app gets illuminated on the left of each device when I tap to open each individual app. And once I close up that app, I put a time to the right side of each app icon, which is on the left side of each device. Now that time that you see is not the time of something that is taking place within the app. So for example here in Premiere Rush, Adobe Premiere Rush, the time that you see after we close up this app is not the export time, but the total time of when we open to when we close that app. So how I've done it is every time I tap on an app icon, I start the timer, and when I swipe up to close it, that's when I end it, when I did my editing and I pulled it straight from the editing app. And we'll get to a little bit of their comparisons at the end to show you guys which individual apps opened up quicker. Well, each phone was quicker per app and which phone was slower per app. But for now, we're running through an internet speed test over here. And next up, we're going into Google Chrome. Now, all of them have been pretty neck and neck here. In terms of Photoshop, the iPhone was quite a bit quicker than the other two devices. And in terms of Premiere Rush, the iPhone was a smidge quicker than the Samsung, but the Samsung was a lot quicker than the Google Pixel. But now we're looking at overall speed. So from start to finish, and right now the iPhone is seriously pulling ahead. It's now currently in YouTube, whereas the Pixel is sitting on TikTok. The Samsung just opened up YouTube, but now the iPhone is going into Netflix here. So the iPhone does seem to be a little bit quicker, and it's more of a neck and neck competition between the Pixel and Samsung. The Samsung kind of seems to be closing up each app that the Pixel just starts opening up. So the Samsung's about an app ahead, where the iPhone's about 2 apps ahead, but now they're all neck and neck in the same app, and that is the only benchmark which we're running through today, just a 1-minute wildlife extreme within 3D Mark Wildlife here, and all of them can run this benchmark test no problem. Of course, the Pixel, we're not looking at benchmark scores in this test. This is just primarily focusing on speed here from start to finish, but the Pixel scores are never going to be as good, and gaming performance is never going to be as good as the iPhone and the Samsung when talking about the Pixel here. But the Pixel does feel just as fast on the daily. Its software is very well optimized, and it's actually sticking neck to neck against these other devices if you are not a serious gamer on a mobile device. I'm not personally a mobile gamer. I prefer playing on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. In terms of my phone, my personal phone, I just want something that I know will be snappy. Whenever I open up an app, close an app, jump between apps, or multitask on my phone, that's the thing that matters most to me. And with that goes hand in hand with good software, and Google have incredible software on the device, which is not quite as skinned as what we see on the Samsung, and it goes neck to neck. It's pretty much the iPhone of Androids is the Google Pixel, and that is why the iPhone and the Pixel perform so well in their respective software departments here because of optimizations. Now the iPhone is a smidge ahead of the other two devices still, and just like I said earlier, as we close up Subway Surfers on the Samsung, we open it up on the Pixel, and the same thing goes here with Asphalt Legends Unite. They changed it up from Asphalt 9 Legends, and we're jumping into this one. The iPhone is in the same app as the other two here, but it is going quite a bit quicker, actually not too much faster now when compared to the Samsung over here. They are just seconds apart, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens with round one. Now, round one time, as you can see at the top, to be announced, to be determined. By the end of the first round, which is going through all these apps, opening them up for the first time with nothing running in the background, of course, that is the time that we'll get for round one. Then the round two time will be going in reverse order of all these apps from the last app, which is Free Fire, which we'll go into now, all the way back up to the stopwatch. But we'll get the time for the first round first, and then we'll get the time for the second round. And in the second round, we're not going to be checking out each phone's time that it takes in each app, because we're just going to be opening up each app quickly and then leaving it as soon as it's fully loaded. So that's kind of just a quick sprint to the finish. Now we are about to get into the last app on the iPhone. We're just finishing off here with Call of Duty Mobile. The Pixel and Samsung are both in Call of Duty Mobile as well, but if we look at the previous game, the Samsung was actually the slowest in-app time in Asphalt Legends Unite, whereas the iPhone was quite a lot quicker than that of the Pixel, which actually beat the Samsung. Now the iPhone is already going into Free Fire, and it did Call of Duty in almost 48 seconds, just under that. The Samsung is about to wrap up with Call of Duty, and it does in 52 seconds, so just 5 seconds behind or 4 seconds behind that of the iPhone. The Pixel is still going at it, and the iPhone is about to end off round 1 over here, and it looks like it is going to be the quickest, which I was actually expecting. Obviously all of them are pretty similarly priced, but the iPhone and Pixel are a lot newer than that of the Samsung. The S25 will come out at the start of next year, so stay tuned for that one. The iPhone finished off its round 1 time with 5 minutes, 3 seconds and 9 milliseconds, and the Samsung just finished off its lap round 1 time in 5 minutes 16.92 seconds, so it was about 13 seconds slower than that of the iPhone. And now the Google Pixel is about to finish up, and what's it going to do it in? Hopefully in the 5-minute mark. It is 5 minutes 32 seconds and 15 milliseconds over here, so it's about 16 seconds or 15 seconds behind that of the Samsung, but it's almost 30 seconds behind that of the iPhone. And the iPhone just finished off its round 2 time with 33 seconds flat and an overall total time of 5 minutes and 36 seconds with 10 milliseconds over there. The Samsung is going to come in second place here with a total time of 5 minutes 54.48 seconds, and its round 2 was 38 seconds, which is about 5 seconds slower than that of the iPhone, which is how long it takes to go back from the end of the apps all the way up to the timer, the clock app. And then the Pixel just finished off here 6 minutes and 12.01 seconds, so quite a bit slower than the rest, but not that much slower that you would actually notice it on the daily unless you're playing games like I mentioned earlier. Now, for those of you wondering why there's so much color on the screen, if you take a look at the app times next to each individual app icon, next to each phone on its left hand side, you'll see some are green, some are highlighted green, and some are highlighted red. The highlighted green ones are the fastest times of the test, and the red are the slowest. No highlight means it's in between. So make sure you hit pause here if you want to compare all app times. But overall, the iPhone placed first, the Samsung placed second, and the Pixel placed third, with the Pixel finishing just under 20 seconds later when compared to the Samsung, and the Samsung finishing just less than 20 seconds when compared to that of the iPhone, which means the Pixel is just under 40 seconds slower than the iPhone, and they cost pretty much the same price. Let me know your thoughts on these results, and let me know your thoughts on this kind of video. It's the first speed test I've done this way, so I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about it. This is TechNick, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.